Welcome to the channel, Guardians. In today's video, I have got a Stasis build for the Warlock. We're going to be combining it with my new Eyasluna God roll, the Unrelenting Headstone roll. That combined with some Stasis aspects and fragments makes this build God tier. So we're going to go over all of that in this video, but before we do, if you guys are new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you guys are new around here. Now let's get into this. So you don't really need the Eyasluna for this build. There are other weapons like the Peace Bond that can get Headstone. You can use the Aegir Scepter, things like that. But Eyasluna is a really good weapon to use. And on this particular roll, I got Fast Draw, High Cal, Unrelenting, and Headstone. Unrelenting, defeating targets triggers health regeneration, and Headstone, Precision Final Blow, spawns a Stasis Crystal at the victim's location, and these Stasis Crystals do synergize with the Stasis subclass. Now let's take a look at this Shadebinder setup. You guys are going to want to slap on the Glacier Grenade, typically the best grenade for this build, and for the aspects, I like using Frost Pulse. Casting your Rift generates a shockwave that freezes nearby combatants. I like using this a lot, especially when getting overwhelmed. You can just throw down a Rift, freeze everybody around you, so you can get a second to heal. Then for the other aspect, we have Ice Flare Bolts. Shattering a frozen target spawns Seekers that track and freeze other nearby targets. This aspect right here can lock down an entire room, just chaining Stasis to every enemy nearby. Now let's get into these fragments. First one I got is Whisper of Fissures. Increases the damage and size of the burst of Stasis when you destroy Stasis Crystal or defeat a frozen target. And since this is pretty much what this build revolves around, you're going to want the most damage. Then for the next fragment, we got Whisper of Shards. Shattering a Stasis Crystal temporarily boosts your grenade recharge rate. Shattering additional Stasis Crystals increases duration. So basically, you shatter one crystal, you get a 5-second cooldown. You shatter 2 crystals, it's going to stack up to 10 seconds. It doesn't go any higher than 10 seconds, but you can keep refreshing it up to 10 seconds. And it also gives you a plus 10 to your resilience. Then we have Whisper of Chains. While you are near a frozen target or a friendly Stasis Crystal, you take reduced damage from targets. I believe it's a 40% damage reduction, and it is really noticeable. And since you're going to be spawning crystals with your grenade, with your Eyasluna, there's going to be crystals all around you at all times. And this also slaps on a plus 10 recovery. And the last fragment that we're using is Whisper of Rending. Kinetic weapons do increase damage to Stasis Crystals and frozen targets. Now this fragment is going to make this build much more easier to use, because if you don't have this, sometimes it takes 2 or 3 shots to kill a crystal, and that is just no bueno. So when you put on Whisper of Rending, you can one-shot those crystals. Now the build does not end there, because we are also using Elemental Well mods. Now you're going to want to slap on Elemental Charge, so you can become charged with light by picking up an Elemental Well. It only costs 2 energy. Then you're going to want Elemental Armaments. Combatant weapon final blows with a damage type that matches your subclass element have an escalating chance to spawn an Elemental Well. So just by getting kills with the Eyasluna, which is Stasis, and we're on our Stasis subclass, we're going to get those wells to spawn. Then on the chest piece, we have Font of Wisdom. Picking up an Elemental Well gives you a significant increase in your intellect, improving the recharge rate of your super. Remember guys, Shadebinder doesn't have the fastest super recharge rate, so this is really good in my opinion. Then we have Explosive Well Maker. Rapidly defeating combatants with explosive damage spawns a solar elemental well. Now in case you guys didn't know, when you shatter a crystal, that counts as an explosion and it will spawn a solar elemental well. Yes, it does not match your energy subclass, but you still are going to get grenade and ability energy from picking up the solar ones as well as the stasis ones. Now for the last mod, we have Font of Might. Picking up an elemental well that matches your subclass temporarily grants bonus to weapon damage that is of the same elemental type. So now we're going to get increased damage from our Eyasluna and any other stasis weapon, just like this Zephyr sword here. Now the cool thing about this is that Headstone crystals, when you shatter them, that counts as a weapon final blow. So Font of Might actually works with the crystal shatter damage. So once you get the Font of Might buff going and you shatter a crystal, that crystal actually explodes for even more damage, which makes the ad clear that much better. And then last but not least, we are using the Vesper of Radius exotic chest piece for the Warlock. The exotic perk Planetary Torrent. Rifts release an arc shockwave when cast. Rift energy recharges faster when you are surrounded by enemies. This allows us to have our rift pretty much at all times. When we cast our rift, it instantly freezes enemies, and then that arc shockwave pushes out and instantly shatters them. There is a lot of good synergy going on with this build right here. You guys need to try this out. Get into the grasp of avarice. Make sure you guys get your hands on a Headstone Eyasluna, specifically the unrelenting one. It's pretty cracked. That's going to do it for the build. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, don't forget to leave a like on the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.